If you're wondering which 1440p 144 Hz monitors are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. Asus ROG Swift OLED PG27AQ WP. This absolute unit hits a face-melting 540 Hz at 1440p using a tandem OLED panel that gets bright enough to actually fry your retinas. Though the stand is so massive, it basically needs its own zip code. You're getting DisplayPort 2.1 and motion clarity so crisp, it makes reality look blurry. But honestly, having no built-in speakers at this price is just Asus being petty. Would I buy it? Yes. Because 540 Hz on an OLED is literally the peak of human engineering, and I have zero self-control. Asus ROG Swift PG27AQ-DP. This is the world's first native 480 Hz OLED at 1440p, which is perfect for when you want to miss your shots in even higher definition than before. The new anti-flicker tech and clear pixel edge algorithm actually make text readable for once. But the lack of full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth means you're still tethered to DisplayPort like it's 2015. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you're a competitive sweat who thinks 360 Hz is for peasants, but the price tag definitely bites back. Alienware AW2725DF. Dell decided to slap a 360 Hz QD OLED panel on this bad boy, giving you those vibrant, milky colors that make standard OLEDs look like a dusty basement. It's buttery smooth for esports, but the HDMI port is basically a glorified paperweight limited to 144 Hz, so don't even think about getting the full experience on a console. Would I buy it? Yes. It's arguably the best value for a high refresh OLED right now, and the warranty actually covers burn-in unlike some other brands. MSI EMAC 272QP-X50. MSI really chose violence by overclocking a third-generation QD OLED to 500 Hz, making it the current king of motion clarity for anyone with a GPU powerful enough to actually run it. The colors are stunning, and it finally includes decent cooling, but if your frame rate drops even a little, you're basically paying for Hertz you'll never see. Would I buy it? Yes, because being able to say I have a 500 Hz OLED is the ultimate flex, and the image quality is straight up gorgeous. Asus ROG Strix XG27A QWMG. This one is the budget choice of the group, rocking a glossy tandem OLED at 280 Hz that still manages to beat most 360 Hz monitors in pure brightness. It's got that sexy glossy finish that makes the contrast pop, but compared to the 540 Hz monsters above, it feels a bit like bringing a knife to a nuclear war. Would I buy it? No, because for a few extra bucks you can get significantly higher refresh rates, and the 280 Hz limit feels a bit mid for a 2026 flagship. AOC Q27 G4ZD. This budget beast gives you a quantum dot organic light emitting diode panel at 240 Hz for a price so low it feels like you're robbing the store. Even if the high dynamic range calibration is a bit of a mess, I actually used this and felt like a god with those infinite black levels, though you better hope your desk isn't behind a window because the screen reflections are basically a vanity mirror for checking your own ugly face. Would I buy it? Yes, because getting premium OLED motion clarity without selling a kidney is the ultimate gamer move. LG 27G S95QE. This thing is so fast it makes my reaction time look like a dial-up modem. But the brightness is so mediocre you might need a flashlight just to see what you're doing in a sunny room. While the colors are vibrant and the response time is near instantaneous, the text clarity is kind of trash, making your emails look like they were written in a blender. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if you live in a basement like a true gremlin and don't care about reading spreadsheets. MSI MPG 272QRF X36. This monitor is trying to be the ultimate overachiever with a 360 Hz refresh rate and that fancy G-Sync pulsar tech that makes motion look sharper than my grandmother's tongue. It handles competitive gaming like a dream, but honestly, unless you're a professional esports player with superhuman eyes, you're mostly just paying extra for numbers you can't even see. Would I buy it? No, because 360 Hz on a regular IPS panel is just overkill when you can get an OLED for similar money. AOC QT7G3XMN. This mini light emitting diode panel has 336 dimming zones that make high dynamic range highlights pop like fireworks, but the vertical alignment panel has black smearing so bad it looks like someone spilled ink across your screen every time you turn around. I tested this, and the contrast is absolutely mental for the price. Yet the viewing angles are so narrow you basically have to sit perfectly still like a gargoyle to see the colors right. Would I buy it? Yes, it is the only way to get true high dynamic range performance at 1440 pixels without spending a fortune, assuming you can ignore the ghosting. Gigabyte M27QX. This monitor is the reliable workhorse that finally fixed the sub-pixel layout to regular red, green, blue, so you won't get a headache trying to read text. But the contrast ratio is still as flat as a pancake. It hits 240 Hz with ease and includes a built-in keyboard video mouse switch for your laptop, though the stand is so basic it can't even swivel, making it feel a bit cheap. Would I buy it? Yes. It is the perfect all-rounder for someone who wants high-speed 1440 pixel gaming and actual productivity without any weird OLED babysitting. Asus ROG Strix XG27 ACDNG. This QD OLED beast pushes a mental 360 Hz that makes standard 144 Hz feel like a slideshow, but the blacks turn a funky purple if you dare to turn a light on. It handles motion like a god until the variable refresh rate flicker starts acting up in dark scenes, making you feel like you are at a techno rave you never asked for. Would I buy it? Yes, because that 360 Hz speed is absolute crack for competitive gaming, and I am usually sitting in a dark basement anyway. MSI Mag 275QF. This thing is cheap enough to make you suspicious, offering a 180 Hz refresh rate that is basically the monitor equivalent of a fast food bargain bucket. The stand is so basic it barely holds the panel up, and the response times are definitely not going to win any medals compared to its expensive Asus cousins. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if my bank account is crying and I just need a basic 1440p screen to see the enemies I am inevitably going to miss. KTC E27P6S. This monitor tries to be a budget OLED king with a 240 Hz panel that hits over 1200 nits in cinema mode, which is bright enough to flashbang you in real life. The out-of-the-box colors are a total mess and require more fixing than my last relationship. Plus, it lacks high-definition multimedia interface 2.1, which is just insulting in 2026. Would I buy it? Yes, because getting this level of OLED motion clarity for half the price of big brands is worth the headache of fiddling with the settings. Dell S2722DGM. This curved VA panel has contrast deeper than a philosopher's midlife crisis, but the black smearing is so bad it looks like someone smeared actual ink across the screen during fast moves. It completely skips out on high dynamic range because Dell apparently thinks we still live in 2010, yet it still manages to be a reliable tank for budget gamers. Would I buy it? No, because while the contrast is sexy, I cannot deal with my enemies leaving a ghost trail every time they run past a dark corner. Asus TUF Gaming BG27A QL3A. It is the safe choice for people who are scared of OLED burn-in, featuring a 180 Hz fast in-plane switching panel that is reliable but as exciting as a plain ham sandwich. The high dynamic range is mostly there for marketing vibes since it doesn't get bright enough to actually impress anyone, but at least the colors won't shift when you move your head an inch. Would I buy it? Yes, it is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it monitor for anyone who wants decent speed and great colors without the OLED anxiety. Asus ROG Strix XG27AQDMG. This thing has a glossy walled panel that makes the contrast look so sharp it might actually cut your eyeballs, but the HDMI 2.0 ports are basically a crime against humanity since they cap you at 144 Hz. It handles 1440p gaming like a total champ with those deep blacks, though the text clarity is still a bit of a mess for anyone trying to do actual work. Would I buy it? Yes, because that glossy finish makes every other matte monitor look like it was cleaned with a piece of bacon. Pixio PX277 OLED Max V2. This is basically the budget king of the OLED world, giving you a beautiful 240 Hz refresh rate and a KVM switch for the price of a used sedan. The HDR performance is actually decent now that the version 2 panel is brighter, but the factory calibration is so bad you will need to spend 3 hours fighting the OSD joystick just to make the colors look human. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I spent all my money on the graphics card and only have enough left for a monitor and a pack of ramen. LG 27GS93QE. This monitor is so fast at 240 Hz that you will finally see yourself losing in high definition before you even realize you clicked the mouse. The micro-lens array technology makes it way brighter than those dusty old OLEDs, even if the matte coating makes it look slightly grainy when you are staring at a white web page. Would I buy it? Yes, it is the safest middle ground for anyone who wants a reliable 1440p experience without any weird experimental quirks. LG 27GX790B. This absolute beast hits 480 Hz, which is honestly overkill unless you are a professional esports player or just really enjoy seeing your cursor move smoother than butter on a hot pan. It is basically the 27GS93QE on steroids, but the price tag will make your wallet cry and you will probably notice some annoying flicker when the frame rates start to dip. Would I buy it? No, because I am not a literal god at Counter-Strike and my eyes definitely cannot tell the difference between 240 and 480 Hz anyway. Dell Alienware W3423DDBF. This ultra-wide beauty uses quantum dot OLED to give you colors so vibrant they look like a neon sign in a dark alley, though the 165 Hz refresh rate feels a bit sluggish compared to the 240 Hz speedsters. It is the ultimate immersive 1440p experience for single-player games, but that weird sub-pixel layout makes text look like it was written by a drunk spider. Would I buy it? Yes, because that 3-year burn-in warranty means I can leave it on for weeks without having a total mental breakdown. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the 1440p 144 Hz monitors for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.